Over the past decade, no fighter has held the UFC featherweight title longer than Jose Aldo. Before UFC 123 in 2010, the WEC featherweight king was awarded the undisputed UFC featherweight championship, making him the youngest title holder in the promotion's history. Who knew we'd be in for so many memorable moments, like the time Aldo successfully defended his title at record-breaking UFC 129 and made Mark Hominick's hematoma go viral in the process, or the time Aldo nailed his signature leg kicks repeatedly on Kenny Florian, or even better, his next fight at UFC 142, when Aldo's knee ended Chad Mendez's night with 1 second to go in the first round. The image of an ecstatic Aldo running through the cage door, hopping into the crowd in his native Rio, and being hoisted up by his supporters will live on forever. Aldo defended his strap again and again against Edgar, Jung, Lamas, and who can forget his instant classic rematch against Chad Mendez at UFC 179. Then, at UFC 194, it finally happened. After months of build-up and a failed booking, Aldo squared off with bitter rival Conor McGregor. 13 seconds later, the fight was over, and Aldo was on his back. One loss doesn't define a fighter. The magnitude of a fight doesn't change the reality of the situation. Aldo lost, just like so many other greats do. But if we've learned one thing over this past decade, it's that seemingly no one is safe. Aldo has had his ups and downs since the McGregor loss. He won the interim featherweight title at UFC 200 before Max Holloway finished him in back-to-back title fights. But still, Aldo went on to prove he's a top-tier fighter after all these years, finishing Jeremy Stephens and Renato Moicano. Aldo is a man of many names: Scarface, Junior, the King of Rio, perhaps even the 145-pound GOAT to some. And when you look back at Aldo's entire body of work, it's hard to argue that. He's number 5 in most title fights and holds the 5th longest title reign at 7, a stretch of 1,848 days. Both are featherweight records. That's why Jose Aldo comes in at number 9 on MMA Junkie's top 10 fighters of the decade.